Okay, good morning. This is a bit unexpected. There's a nice little statement in Spanish which says, "Hecha la ley, hecha la trampa." And this was translated as saying when they make the nets, they also make the holes. And what we have here is a tremendous challenge. Well, what they've got out of this particular exercise, and perhaps some suggestions about where we would like to be in 2 years' time. So if there are any suggestions, this is not a matter of killing 30 minutes now, but I think this is your last opportunity to give input at this particular function. And I think it's also our last opportunity to, in fact, thank the people that put all this together, because it's been a tremendous effort. I think it's been a quality exercise. We are, some of us, a long way from home, and very happy that this has been productive, and that it's also given us a taste, I think, of the realities of what happens inside the industry where it all started. Could we have some comments, please, from the floor? This could be a short exercise.
I'll start off.
Janet?
We actually delayed, we've got our annual MSC surveillance. We actually delayed it for this workshop because one of our conditions was precisely this, this sort of subject. And I feel that we can go from here. Hopefully Andreas and Joost feel the same. And Tim too, of course, that we can go from here with a fairly clear idea of how to go forward on this subject. It's been a subject that's been plaguing me for a year as to how exactly, what was the strategy for moving forward. And I think that's given us a much clearer idea. I think it's also given us face-to-face contact with some incredibly knowledgeable people, scientists and people in the industry. And, you know, for that, I think it highlights the benefits very much of participating in Colto and having such a great organisation that arranges these things. And I'd really like to thank Reese and Martin and Paul for putting it all together, and of course our Chilean hosts as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Janet. Eduardo Senior?
Yes, I would say almost the same as Janet said. This has been a great opportunity to exchange opinions. We are very happy to have received all of you here, and I hope you have had a good time. The ones that will continue to the optional tour starting today, we have a nice surprise tomorrow, because it's an amazing place where we are going. And thank you very much from the bottom of our heart to have come to the end of the world. We are really proud to have done and organized this, and so thanks a lot to everyone.
Do we have any more?
I'd just like to say thank you very much to all the information that's come from a lot of people here. I haven't said anything in this conference because I've been listening and picking up all the hints and tips and all the information that's going around. Very valuable, particularly at the moment, because we're building a new longliner. We're making this vessel as quiet as possible. That is it's a secondary issue, really. First primary issue was to reduce fuel consumption and just generally comfort on board, but the secondary issue, we will be making this vessel very quiet, including no clutch. It'll be electric drive, so that will make our starting, and we can take the prop right down to 0 to keep it really, really quiet. Our captain has always been very, very twitchy about making noise in the water. He doesn't run the echo sounder. He tries to be as quiet as possible, so we fed into that. We fed his input into our new design. Yes. So hopefully in 2 years' time we can give you some results, and hopefully we have no depredations at all.
Right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Dirk, any comments?
Sure. I mean, I did mention before that the idea for the Camelar Science, Colto Science collaboration was developed here in Punta Arenas, so it's kind of nice to come back to its birthplace. I really appreciate all of the amazing hospitality that has been provided. It's been really special. I also find these sort of discussions much more fascinating than just sitting in a room full of scientists, because you know, I want my science to be actually used to change the world, and you know, it can sometimes be a bit sterile when it's just scientists talking. I've really appreciated the guys coming down from Alaska. That's been absolutely fascinating to see how they're dealing with the issues they've got there. So, you know, thanks for you guys coming as well. I'd also like to particularly thank Paul, because you know, he's really a powerhouse in this sort of work, and has provided some really important guidance throughout this workshop. And I'm not sure if people know, but he doesn't actually have a job at the moment. So it's really, he's incredibly generous to give his time and so much effort when, you know, I have the benefit of my government actually pays me to come to these sort of things, but Paul doesn't have that benefit at the moment. I actually think that's something that Colto should look to remedying, to be honest. I think having a scientist that can coordinate and bring all of this research together, because you know, we've set ourselves up quite an ambitious program of work, would be in Colto's long-term interests. We heard yesterday about some of Chile's issues about, you know, we can't have industry paying scientists directly and all this sort of thing. I think you can overcome those issues if you have a merit-based process for a start to bring the people on board, and there's transparent peer review of the work they're doing. And I'd have no hesitation in, for example, establishing some sort of process, some sort of oversight of a Colto scientist, making sure that the work that they're doing is scientifically rigorous, but is also focused at addressing the issues that Colto have identified they need to address. And I actually think that would be a really excellent model that we could show to other fisheries around the world.
Yeah. Thanks very much for that.
They're my thoughts. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank to Colto and this organization and the children organizers for so good workshop that you made here in Chile. And on behalf of the Fisheries Administration, my colleagues, myself, I want to tell you how much we appreciate to have the opportunity to meet with this many people, many countries, and to know how they are working so well and making very insightful experience for us, and to learn how you deal with this kind of problems. And we are committed to show our advances and results in next opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Captain, perhaps a few words from you?
Yeah, thanks, and I've very much enjoyed coming to this meeting. I've been involved with Southern Seabird Solutions and similar problem-solving operations in the past, and they've always come out with a good outcome, and I think we're well on the track. And from a fisherman's perspective, we're used to immediate results. The sun comes up and we deal with problems on a daily basis and forget about what happened yesterday and move on to the next day. So this process is a little bit strange to us. It takes a lot longer to get a result, but I understand. But I know a lot of my mates don't. So yeah, I thank you for your patience. We will get on board, and further down the track, I'm sure there'll be a useful outcome.
Thanks very much. Megan?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks very much for the opportunity to come down here. It's been absolutely fascinating to learn from our perspective about the Southern Ocean fisheries, to see where the strengths are, you know, whether in Alaska and mitigation or in ecology and crozet. And there's been a ton of really fascinating information shared, and I feel like this, you know, spread of information will do nothing but benefit the aims of this workshop to find some solutions. So anyways, just wanted to say thank you very much, and it was really helpful.
Absolutely. Marta?
For me, it was fascinating to be here, and I cannot thank our Chilean host enough. It was really fantastic to have this opportunity and to meet and speak with people from different sides of the industry, and to me, having the Alaskan component here was really eye-opening. We're not alone in the Southern Ocean. Within CAMLA, this is also a question that's being asked and worked on, so you know, we'll be taking some of that stuff back there as well to develop further, I think. So thank you very much.
John?
Yes, this has been fantastic. I want to also thank the organizers and the hosts. My first time in Chile, I've learned a lot, and I know that a lot of you I will stay in touch with right after we return back home as well. From Mustad's point of view, we feel the world is just getting smaller and smaller. We notice that one technique being used in one part of the world is suddenly being used in the complete different part of the world. We're learning from each other, we're communicating better than ever, and I think our growth has been based on that we've learned from fishermen from New Zealand, we've learned from Chile, we've learned from Alaska, and we've adapted to this. So getting everyone together like this, hearing it from scientific and from the industry and the fishermen is very important. But John, I really want to especially thank you as well. In Alaska at least, my impression is some fishermen have a massive influence on all the other fishermen, being the pioneers, willing to take a risk, and also sharing the information about the techniques, and what used to be secrets aren't that secretive anymore. So I want to end by saying thanks again, and I've got about 20 Mustad hook tie clips left, so anyone that wants one, just stop by after.
All right. Do we have any more? I'm coming to you in a second. Sure. Okay. Sorry. Sure. Jeff.
Yeah, just real quickly, I don't think I could say it better than Janet and some of the other people around the room have. It's been a real pleasure. I gotta say, I wasn't sure about coming down here, outcomes, fitting in with our season and whatnot, and now I want to stay for a couple more weeks and hang out with you guys, try out some of your boats. But I think one of the most important things from a fisherman's perspective is the power of collaboration. You get the right people in the room, the fishermen are innovative, we're competing against each other, but we've got a lot of information to share. The scientists, the governments, that's been one of the most effective tools in some of the bigger problems, taking the long view on the resource, that kind of thing. So really look forward to working with you guys.
Jeff, thank you very much indeed. Yesterday evening, you know, we went and looked at some cars, and they had, as you know, the Ford Model T was the original, and I have one right here on my right-hand side. And I'm now going to pass on to the next model, which, as we saw yesterday, was the Ford Model A. Eduardo Jr.
Thank you. Just to a little thing. Before everybody goes, we want to have a group photo under that big Colto screen. So to have this in our memories forever. And the other thing, I want to make mine all the words that you have just said. I also learned a lot and have a lot of fun. So that's the whole combination. That's what we need. At least to start the road. I know that we have a lot to go. So I just wanted to give it up to have a big clap for all of you. So thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. We will now have 3 minutes in which to put on our makeup, and then we can appear over here for the photograph. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, everyone. I'd just like to say a couple of closing words before we get our makeup on and have a photo. Just on behalf of Colto, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming down to Punta Arenas. It's a long way from home for a lot of people, but it's been a really rewarding few days, and I'm sure you'll all agree about that. I think some of the obvious things that we've learned are collaboration is needed. We're not going to be able to do this on each fishery alone, and it's evident that the spirit and openness of everyone here, I'm sure we can move forward in the right direction. I'd like to make special thanks to our new Alaskan friends that came down. It's really great to have you here. We've learned a lot from you. I hope you've learned a little bit from us as well, and we're looking forward to working together, hopefully moving forward. To our hosts, Eduardo and Eduardo Jr., it's been a huge effort getting this all together over here, so thanks for that. It's been really easy the last few days, so everything's been flawless. Thank you. To the people that have helped chair some of these discussion sessions, Dirk and Richard and Paul. I think the discussions were nice and open, easy flowing, a lot of good structure, so that was great. And yeah, a special thanks to Paul. So as Dirk said, he's not getting paid for this, he's unemployed. But hopefully we can fix that soon. So yeah, thanks very much, Paul. It's been great. And I think he's got a few final words if you might want to listen to something pretty exciting.
Now, during my spare time, I've been running another project, and you may be interested in. It's a project with Nicholas, and just wanted to say a few words about that. It's actually a book. Yeah, Nicholas has been fishery observer for like 4 years of your life, right? You started back in the 90s on the Russian big fishing vessels, and I did fishery observer too, and I took some pictures. He took some pictures as well of the things we see out there, and for many years we've been having this idea of putting all those pictures into a nice art book, and yeah, it's gonna happen. Eventually we took time to bring the best shots we ever got from those different fishing vessels we've been on in the Southern Ocean of the Crozet and the Kerguelen Island. And so this book is going to be published in next April, and it's already available before being published, actually, so you can order it by going onto the, if you could put the full screen. There are a couple of flyers at the exit, so yeah, just feel free to pick it up, and yeah, this is going to be the cover, and you can log on to this website. The book is going to be both in French and in English, so if you guys are interested, we got a number of flyers in which you can pick them up. Yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you very much.